Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's SIG scheduling meeting. And this is the first one in the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. So today, our main agenda is go through the features, caps in the 127 release. So we can go one by one. The first of 5 has clear decision whether or not they'll be targeting in the 127 and has a clear owner. Letter 2, which is owned by Patrick, the other is by Alex, doesn't have a clear decision yet. Maybe we will touch base offline. So the first one is a new one that introduce match label key to pod affinity and type affinity. So this is owned by Santoshiho, can say. This is actually following the same paradigm with the same mechanism we introduced for the pod topology spread, because during the rolling upgrade, there can be old paths versus new paths, and they are showing the same criteria to be matched by the label selector usually. And then you just mess up with how to do the scheduling directives semantics among the new paths only instead of just combining all the new paths. So this is the one for pod affinity and pod anti-affinity. And the other one that we already had is for the pod topology spread. So this one for affinity. And it's a new feature we agreed to make it alpha in 127. I will be reviewing that. The second one is, just like I said, is the other match label keys, but in another scheduling directory, which is on the pod topology express topology constraint, I think. So that one was alpha in 125. So we got to a consensus to make it beta in 127, and Abdullah will be reviewing that. Yeah, and to get to the timeline, you can go to where's that? So you go to the SIG release page. I think the enhancement freeze is February 10th, so we have 1 month before that. Yeah, just keep it the date. So the third one is run by Abdullah. It's about the job spec itself can contain some scheduling directive like pod affinity, then type affinity, and also as the scheduling gates join. So we have a feature gate regarding whether the scheduling directive is mutatable on the job or not. So because a suspended job doesn't have any backing paths, so we can change the job securely, because maybe the previous version of job spec doesn't fit for the custom cluster situation. So we give the controller or some others some alternative option to order to mutate the directive. So the plan is to make it GA in 27, and Abdullah will be owning that, and I will review that. I think there's some pretty minor change, like to let the scheduling gates go through. Yeah, that's maybe some other things. So the next one is the pod scheduling readiness. This was made alpha in 26, and we're gonna to make it 120. Sorry, we are gonna make it beta in 127. So in a nutshell, the feature enable the users to specify a couple of strings working as the gating the pod's readiness, so that before those gates are cleared, this pod will not enter the scheduling queue to getting its chance to be scheduled. So yeah, that's more details, but I don't want to mention too much. So I'll be owning that, and Abdullah will be doing that. And this one, I'm not sure who put a no here, but it seems some shareholder doesn't have the capacity to get to it. So maybe we just leave it no here.
No, I think the problem is they missed when they graduated to beta, they did not flip the flag to be true by default. And so I think that was.
It's already, I see.
It's already in beta, but it's still disabled by default.
Oh, then.
So it got, I think there was a PR that sent to flip the flag, but it will continue to be in beta for one more release, and then we will graduate.
Okay, I see. Okay, got it. And this one, I think is a very complex PR, involves dynamic resource allocation, involves a lot of components, and I think Aldo reviewed that primarily in the last release, so maybe there is something to do, but I'm not sure Patrick can have cycle to promote to beta in this. But my guess is no. But yeah, Aldo.
Yeah, Patrick wrote into the CAP that he's not driving it for beta yet. So.
Okay.
Right. So he's gonna be working on multiple changes that were requested during alpha, but there is no graduation to beta.
Okay. So
it's going to stay alpha.
Yeah.
The question I'm asking mostly to SIG node is whether they want to still track it as part of the enhancements process, because the changes, I mean, it's not 1-2 changes, it's like there is a big list. So maybe it's worth going through the process anyways. But still it's gonna remain beta, remain alpha.
Yeah, makes sense. So for the last one is that some users repass the requirement saying that, okay, the default preemption does honor the PDB in a best efforts way. Means, okay, if there's one candidate with pass violating the PDB and the other is not, definitely we'll choose the one that doesn't have any PDB violation out there. But it is best efforts manner. That means if two candidates are the only two candidates and they both tie with violating the PDBs, then we just go choose one to preempt the one, even if it's PDB protected. So there's a requirement saying, okay, given PDB is kind of formal directory to ensure the user's workloads not disrupted, maybe we should not go preempt the path if they are PDB protected. So I think the Alex proposed some Google document there, and I think we more prefer to apply a field to the PDB spec, says, okay, preemption enforcers or something like that. So to honor the PDB's semantics during the default preemption in a enforced manner. So this is not that prioritized, but I will touch base with Alex offline, and then we will pick up the one approval to see how we go forward. So yeah, any other missing features? I mean, CAP, or formal features you are aware of, then just leave it here or just ping us in the Slack. Yeah, Aldo, do you want to?
Oh yes.
I can open it.
If there are no other topics, actually there is a number of tickets like this. This one is about cost scheduling. Basically, Kubeflow is thinking whether they want to add support for pod group as it is currently implemented in the scheduling plugins repo. Kubeflow already has support for Volcano, so they're thinking about in this pod group. I left a question there mostly, well, to Wei and Alex, whether about where is the work of pod group going upstream. Because maybe it doesn't make sense for Kubeflow to support the pod group if it's not upstream. So maybe it's better to think about how we can upstream pod group.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, the pod group proposal, I mean, make it upstream, was stuck at the lacking support for the autoscaler because there's no good and efficient way to inform the cluster autoscaler that what kind of node provision strategy can make the pending paths that belongs to a pod group schedulable. So yeah, let me think about that too. I think the
problem was that the proposal as it was simply didn't have enough details about how the autoscaler could work. So if those details can be completed, I think it would be possible to proceed with the proposal.
Yeah.
And another thought I have is in terms of performance of the cost scheduling plugin, because currently the cost scheduling plugin relies heavily on the queue-sort endpoint.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound that efficient. But now that we have the pre-enqueue endpoint, it could be a major, a significant performance improvement for the cost scheduling plugin.
I have one issue tracking that is that, so the embarrassing thing for the pod group user is that we just use the pod group's creation timestamp as the sorting criteria, but that is far from perfection because that timestamp is fixed. That means if the pod is created just by some time, it holds the priority ahead of other, no matter pod group in the past. But we don't have this issue in the regular pod-based scheduling in our in-tree pod, because every time we reschedule a pod, once the pod is being re-queued, the queue timestamp is refreshed. But we cannot be easily doing that for pod group because we just don't in-queue a virtual concept of pod group. But with the pre-enqueue extension, that is, I would say it's possible, but I need to do some exercise on that. There's one issue checking that. And if we can ensure the fairness among pod group and pod group versus other regular pod, we can sort of like impose the proper backoff for the pod group itself, instead of like just the pod group always has a very high priority comparing to others. Yeah, that is one issue to resolve.
Yeah, I guess overall the CAP needs more work. So I don't know if you have the time this release, otherwise maybe some other contributor, if they have some time to at least make some progress or get into maybe we can even merge the CAP as non-implementable. So the key point is to make progress rather than wait a full release for the next release to just to start again from scratch.
Yeah, anyone who who has interest can ping me or Alex, because just as I mentioned, for now it's stuck as 2 points. One is the integration with customer scalar. The other is to fairness of the part groups queuing. So, and with the help of queuing, the pre-in queue extension point, the latter problem may be resolved, but we still need to think about spend time on the integration of customer scalar. Okay, and we still have some time. Yeah.
Yeah, if there is some time, I would like to mention that Kubeflow, well, not Kubeflow, but one contributor in Kubeflow is proposing a number of changes so that Kubeflow is more compatible with Kubernetes. And the other issue that was open, not related to this, but related to job, is that they are proposing to use the index job as the underlying mechanism to create pods in Kubeflow. I didn't include that in the docs. I can search for you and put it there. But then that also has some nice implications, because let's say if Kubeflow migrates to job, then maybe we don't need a pod group. Maybe we can just use job as the grouping. I'm not saying that's the necessary solution, but it's a possibility, right? So just food for thoughts for the future.
Yeah, B. Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, that's your hands raised up.
Oh, hi everyone. So my question is more like a general question. So I don't know if you have like finished this section of questions that I can ask for a general question.
Yeah, you can just start. We are pretty freestyle. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm new to this interest group. I'm right now reading the scheduler's code. I wonder, like, what would be the best way to seek for some helps when I, don't understand some code details, or, don't understand some design decisions. I didn't really find much like documentations about like the, the code structures in general. So I wonder if you can give me some pointers, or like, yeah. Or like if there are any discussion forum. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think the best way to get started with, I suppose, just from a very brand new to Kubernetes and open source development, this website, kubernetes.dev, is pretty nice website, and you will see a ton of the resources out here, like I think there's someone to get you started, like it just goes through the get started to get you started from the very beginning, and etc. code convention, blah blah like this. But if you are seeking for some scheduler specific dev oriented documents, you can turn to I think maybe we should pin this to the channel, sorry, the community. Yeah, the contributors and like dev, SIG scheduling. Yeah, there's a very good documents here. Like if you want to know the internals of the scheduling queue, there's a very good document written here by Jan, I think, and yeah, like a code hierarchy overview here. Also, it's kept up to date. But if you find some out of date information, just raise a PR to correct it. I think this one is very good.
Yeah, you send to the chat. I can get right. Yeah. I have. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Oh, I want to say that I kind of right now get some high level ideas of how this whole scheduler work. Right now, I probably have more like a detailed question. For example, how those plugins are like triggered in order. So I'm trying to find the code for that, but like it probably taking me some time to really find like how this orders of plugin actually be. So I wonder like, you know, for this kind of question, what's the best way I can, you know, find some help?
If you want to know how the scheduling framework and how the scheduling plugin works, I would suggest that there is a kubecontact.
Okay.
I think me and some others give about the schedule plugins. You can ping me and I can give you the link offline. And also I suppose you know there's a repo called schedule plugins, and there's a lot of plugins written here, and you can turn to, because this is so-called out-of-tree plugins, and also you can turn to the upstream for the in-tree plugins for their implementation. But before that, maybe the kubecontact is a good stuff for you to get to know.
So there's also the framework kit. There's also documentation about the framework in the Kubernetes docs as well. You can look at
scheduler.
I think so.
Saying the scheduler framework.
So this is the original kit, but there is also like more documentation that scheduling framework.
Okay.
There's this one too. So this is the.
Oh yeah.
And then there's always, of course, the Slack.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd say the Slack is a good way if you have specific questions to get a hold of someone.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm kind of like doing a research work on like trying to like write some verification code for like scheduler. So I probably need to know a little bit more details for how scheduler work. Yeah, thanks for the pointers. Yeah.
I would say so probably it's best to start in the community level, the first link that we share. And as you go through all the other documents that people have shared, or even if you go to the Slack channel, as you find these answers, maybe it's good if you have some time, just add them to the devel, to the community repo as a PR, so that other people can benefit in the future. They are reasonably up to date. Well, what's the 2021? Okay, a bit old now, but yeah, it feels actually recent that some people did this and rearranged this documentation, so it's somewhat up to date. So if you go through all these questions and you get answers, please open a PR here.
Okay, so if I got some new, like, you know, if I wrote some summary by myself, I will like push to this one, right? This current link.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I will. Thank you.
All right, I think we basically covered today's topics. Abdullah, do you want to talk a little bit on the potential enhancement on our tri-age and other processing improvement?
Oh yeah.
Or we can just leave it to next meeting.
Yeah, we can leave it next meeting, but we can just tease it. So we're looking at like we had this nice dashboard for open issues that like under scheduling that we can use for triaging probably in the next meetings. The only problem with it is that by default there is no like automated way of populating that dashboard. But it seems that someone wrote a bot that we can use, like SIG auth. I think they wrote a bot that helps automating that. So maybe we will, if anybody has like knowledge of how to set up bots on GitHub, please let us know if you can help us set up this tool for our dashboard. It would be great. Like it would be much easier for us to look at and open issues and so that we don't miss any reviews. So what Wei is showing here is the tool. Is basically the tool, and I think this can be set up as a bot on GitHub.
Yeah. A little background is that GitHub has I think it's a beta feature called GitHub Project, and this is a sort of a dashboard, and you can put your issues on whatever you want to check here. But for now, it's not automatic, so you have to manually put it there. But someone like us written some good tools to auto populate the just open the new issues and the PRs here. So we want to follow the same process and have some kind of bot to auto import this kind of issues for us to try and assign to different reviewers. Better manage this stuff. If you do have some experience like setting up a bot or something like that, do let us know. We do need some kind of help.
How do you? Who has the power to currently add new items here?
Not quite sure. Maybe everyone. I think Kente used to do some kind of importing the menu, importing the items here.
So maybe just any member, right?
Members, yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay. And I guess for everyone listening, yes, this applies to any Kubernetes repo. So if you have things for enhancements or for code, we can start tracking it here.
All right, I think this is pretty much for today's meeting. I will stop recording.